welcome to this special program. My name is Ruth Kulaisi. As we look ahead into, of course, the day, the 1st of June 2024, the President of the Republic of Malawi will be presiding over the launch of the Magwero Industrial Park Project. Now, why is this important? Why should we pay special attention to it? Looking ahead into the future of Malawi, 2063 is the vision that we're running towards at the moment. And what we're saying is that we're wanting to have a Malawi that is self-reliant and, of course, a wealthy nation. How are we going to do that? There are many avenues that we could get to that space. And one of those is industrialization. And when we talk about industrialization, we also have to look at, of course, the buy-in of the private sector at the end of the day. And I'm very excited today to be sitting down with the Managing Director for NICO NICO Group, who is Vizenge Kumwenda, who will be sharing with us really the investment that they're making and why they even decided to step into that space, why private sector and why NICO Group specifically is looking at industrialization and partnering, of course, with this project, Magwero Industrial Park Project. Thank you for joining us.
Welcome.
Thank you indeed. So first off, maybe we could take a look at what NICO Group does before I get to ask you a bit about why NICO has even decided to jump into partnering with government on this.
Okay. So NICO Group is an integrated financial services group. In fact, we pride ourselves to be the biggest in as far as the range of financial services that are offered. So, you know, we have insurance companies, life and general. We have pensions. We have a bank, NBS Bank, asset management, technology, but also, you know, we are into hotels. So, yeah, that's what we do.
Yes.
Yeah.
But what does any of that have to do with Magwero Industrial Park? Where does NICO Group come in?
Okay, you see, the way we do our business, we do it in such a way that we are relevant. We are part of providing solutions to the challenges that we face as a country. And obviously in the process, you know, you make money and so on and so forth. So, as we do our strategy, our business plans, we look we look at what is it that this country is doing, and at the center of that is the government agenda. Okay, and the government agenda right now, the biggest framework is the Vision 2063, and in that vision there are 3 pillars, and 2 of them are agriculture commercialization and industrialization. Now, when you talk of industrialization, maybe before I go to that, what we noted is that the government is really driving hard on both agriculture commercialization and industrialization. And we noted that, we learned that actually the government would really want to make progress in this space of industrialization. So, then we said, okay, how is the government going to do this? Then we learned that actually industrial parks are at the center of that. Yeah, we learned that they are looking into partnering with an organization that is good at setting these industrial parks. So we started, tracking to say, who is this? And we reached out to the company called ERIS. ERIS is an international company that specializes in industrial parks. Now, when you talk of industrial parks, what exactly are we talking about?
Yes.
Industrial parks are basically there to provide a framework to make it easy for manufacturing to take place. So the idea is that you should have a place that has everything that a factory, for example, needs. Okay, because so when you have that setting, then then investors, will be attracted, because for them, would say, oh, look, it's already set up for us. All we need to do, the talk of plug and play. Okay, so so an industrial park, will first, it has to be set up. Among other things, you must have water connections there. You must have electricity. All the utilities must be there. Internet and so on. The best internet, and logistical connections. They all must be there.
Yes.
So now, what does it mean? For an industrial park to take place, first, there has to be an investment in this setup. This, what you may call infrastructure setup.
Yes, so the setup is an actual physical place.
That is correct.
Yes.
That is correct. So, you have to set up, like I say, you have to have water connection, you have to have electricity connection, and not just electricity connection. These things must be functional 24/7, so that when one comes there, when an investor comes there to set up his or her factory, he will not worry about, power blackouts. He will not worry about no water. Okay, he will not worry about internet. And maybe to go further, these manufacturers who come to set up there, yes, they'll produce for local production, but mostly they're producing for the international markets. Okay, they're producing for the international markets. They have orders, they have standards specified, okay, and they operate to very tight kind of deadlines, for lack of a better word. So, now for you to attract such kind of investors, that's why you need to set up a proper functioning industrial park, so that you can say, you know what, in Malawi, Magwero, we have an industrial park.
Yes. Where
you can produce what you want to produce for sale domestically, as I said, but mostly it's for the international markets. Yes.
So where exactly does NICO Group come into this infrastructure?
Yes.
And also, what is your investment in this space?
Right, I'm getting there. So there's the infrastructure. So one has to invest. There's money is required to set up this.
Yes.
Okay. Once this has been set up, then investors will be coming to invest in the industrial parks. So us as NICO, you see, one of our businesses is that we manage pension funds. In fact, maybe we're the biggest pension fund managers in the country. So, pension funds need to be invested. The owners, the owners of the money, the pension members, they want to retire with a good pension.
Yes.
For you to retire on a good pension, your money must be invested in a manner that you retire on a good pension. So, we look for investment opportunities. Now, this for us is an investment opportunity, because at the end of the day, it's going to be run in a commercial manner. Okay, so the park itself will be it's an investment opportunity, but over and above that, the investors who will be coming to invest in there, they will also be setting up businesses, and they will need investment partners. All right, and on top of that, the investors who will be setting up in there, they'll employ people. They'll need to recruit people. For example, Magwero, the estimation is that when fully functional, it will be employing to create about 150,000 jobs. So like as I said, as NICO, we're looking at investing in the industrial park itself, the place we've talked about, but we're also looking to partnering with those investors that are coming from out there. Of course, some will be local, okay? We're looking at partnering. But on top of that, like we said, we're an integrated financial services group. These companies, these investors, including the industrial park itself, they will need financial services. Okay, they will need insurances for their assets, their equipment. They will need insurances for their people, the employees. They will need pensions, okay? They will need banking services. So you see, it's a big project. It has got different parts, like I've said. You're looking at investing in the park itself. You're looking at teaming up with investors coming from out there, or indeed from within. You're looking at providing services to those operating in the park. Okay, so there is
So
that.
to clarify,
Yes.
NICO Group is bringing in the financial system that will be ready to carry on the investors. Is that what
Yes,
we're doing?
so there is that in the sense that, uh, like you say, we'll be investing, for example, we'll be servicing, you know, the companies, the employees working there. The other thing I also forgot to say is that we'll also be, you know, looking at what opportunities are there and then going out to the private sector, to other potential investors to say, look, there are these opportunities here.
Okay.
Okay, come in and invest. Or indeed, it will be like, look, there are these investment opportunities, let's partner, let us syndicate. Okay, so so I hope I'm making myself clear here that, you know, as NICO, there are various points where we can take part.
Yes.
There are various points. And it's not just NICO, as by the way. Like I've said, this place will need services. In this case, we're looking at our services. But they'll need services from the services provided by other market, you know, private sector players out there. Okay. Like obviously, you know, there are banks, other banks also can come in. But apart from that, you know, security companies, you know, guarding services will be required there. Restaurants, you know, accommodation, these people working here will need accommodation. And these investors, like we said, you know, when they're coming into the country, they'll need to stay at hotels, all right? So that's why, you know, as NICO, we're interested. And maybe just to mention that, you see, these industrial parks, they are used, Malawi will not be the first one.
Yes.
In fact, out there, like in the Asian countries, in China, for example, you find that a lot of things, a lot of products, cars, clothes, shoes, are manufactured in places like China and so on, for places like America, Europe, and so on. For that to happen, you know, these countries have the industrial parks where they make it easy for
the work to be done.
To be done. Okay.
Well, we're looking at a projected 200 space area, of course, for the industry there.
Hectares,
have you looked at the risk that NICO is actually going to be taking on if you come into such a space with a diverse kind of industrialization taking place?
Well, look, when you start talking about risk, you can look at it in many ways. You see, when investors come into the zone, I talked about power outages. Mm-hmm. Okay. Now, if an investor is producing for exporting, let's say, to Europe, and he has promised that he would deliver, let's say, tea that is being packaged, or peanut butter, okay? He would deliver that on a certain date. Mm-hmm. Now, if there are power outages, it means he can have difficulties meeting that, that date. Mm-hmm. Okay, so you find that in an industrial park, you know, there will be what you may call several layers of power or backups to say, if maybe ESCOM power failed, maybe there will be generator, diesel power.
Yes.
Okay, if diesel power failed, maybe there will be solar power. So here I'm just trying to explain that that's the kind of risk that should be foreseen, mm-hmm. and then you know, you try to see how you can, you know, you can manage it so that you know, you don't suffer the consequences of that risk.
Yes.
Okay, then there are risks like you know, now I'll use fire. If there was a fire, for example, then you have, you know, fire systems there. But on top of that, that's where NICO Insurance comes in, where, you know, we'll be selling insurance to the industrial park.
So you are seeing more opportunity than anything
No,
in this space?
Well, yes and no. Yes, I must say. But in fact, like if you talk insurance of the whole place there, that you know, NICO is not NICO alone cannot meet the insurance requirements.
Yeah.
In fact, it's a whole insurance market. Okay. Even talking about banking services, NBS Bank alone cannot satisfy the requirements there. All the other banks, you know, they have opportunities there. So now, so we're talking about, you're saying, what kind of risk do you see there? Yeah, look, it's there will be risks, but you know, the whole idea is that you set it up and you operate it. You operate the industrial park in a manner that you manage these risks. That's what I can say.
Well, a lot of opportunity for the country as a whole, of course, for NICO Group as well. But we'll take a short break. There's plenty more that I'd like for us to dive into, so I'm going to ask you to stick around.
In many ways, life is like a game of chess.
The pawn is seemingly the weakest piece on the board, but it gets stronger as it goes over to the other side. Now the queen is the strongest. Every move she makes is strategic, as it should be in life.
Be patient. Always plan your next move. The king is the most important piece on the board. Losing it means losing the game.
Checkmate.
NICO Asset Managers, a proud sponsor of the National Schools Chess League. Invest today for tomorrow.
Get support for all your NICO inquiries, complaints, and requests to the one contact that solves all your financial needs. Avoid unnecessary travel costs and queuing in line by calling our toll-free line, texting us on WhatsApp, emailing us, chat with us through our website, catching us on social media, NICO Group Malawi. NICO companies include ERIS Properties Limited, NICO Call Center, the one contact for all your financial needs.
Welcome back. If you're just joining us, of course, this is a special interview. We're sitting down here with NICO Group Managing Director, Mr. Kumwenda. I thank you that you decided to sit with us. And of course, we're looking at Magwero Industrial Park Project and how Malawi will benefit so much from that industrial project that government is going to actually be launching today. The president will be coming in as well at the project, the industrial park itself, to go in and preside over that. I would like to ask what your actual investment, aside from the tail end that we've spoken of in terms of the service provision that you bring in, but we want to hear real money numbers now, if you have them ready. What does that look like in terms of investment?
Well, maybe in terms of a global number, in terms of how much will go into this. And look, maybe because our partners, ERIS, are the one who are championing this.
You're speaking in dollars, which makes me then look at some of the issues that you already brought up and said how this space will probably be that key link for us to also bring in Forex. As you spoke of, the kinds of companies that will be coming in to invest are looking to not just service Malawi, but the region, the continent, the globe at large.
Yes. Well, the importance of industrial parks also is that, you know, Malawi, just like most developing countries, we export raw products, commodities, okay, which, you know, with very little processing involved, okay. Now you find that we export these raw products, and then we end up importing the finished products from elsewhere at a more expensive, at much higher cost than what we sold this, our crude products for.
Yes.
So with industrial parks, the idea is to maximize the value we get from our raw products. So these commodities we produce, instead of exporting these raw products, the idea is that we should do the processing, the manufacturing, using our own, products. So that when we're exporting, these are high value exports, as opposed to low value exports. So, for example, cotton. Instead of exporting cotton, the idea would be to manufacture, buy the cotton from our farmers, manufacture the cloth, use the cloth to make clothes and export clothes. Okay, in that way, you make much more money. For example, we went to, as NICO and NBS Bank, we went to Togo and Benin, where there's these industrial parks. Cotton, which here in Malawi is sold at 55 cents per kg. There, they process the cotton, make fabrics and garments, which they sell at $20 a kg. Okay, so now the expectation is that, like I said, the production is meant for exports. And here in Malawi, we import goods worth $3 billion per annum, but we export only $1 billion per annum. Now, the expectation is that through these industrial parks, not only will we create jobs, but we'll also generate foreign exchange, because we will be producing for exports, okay? And these will be producing for exports using our own raw materials. So, through these industrial parks, it means all the cotton, for example, all the groundnuts will be sold to this industrial park, and even more, they can produce more. Yes.
Looking at the company's vision, clearly you've stepped into this industrial park and this project itself, and you are looking ahead. But what is your short, medium, and long-term vision moving forward?
Yeah, so you see, obviously we start with a long-term vision. We, as NICO, we've decided that we will not be bystanders, okay, waiting for others to lead and then we ride on their back. No. Like we've said, we want to be part of solution providing. So we look at, we actively look at the country's agenda, and from the country's agenda, we extract, we say, okay, what does the country need and how best can we play our part? So that's our agenda. And so translating that into the short to medium term, obviously, like this industrial park project. This is a long-term project, and we will be taking part in that. And in the process, the idea is that then we should be we should actively be involved in developing what we call the ecosystem. Okay, these industries, this is the ecosystem. We should develop those ecosystems. We should be part of creating those ecosystems, so that then we sell our services to that ecosystem. Yes. So, on the back of that, then obviously people come in. We want to have the best people, so we're investing in training. We're investing in, we want, recruiting from the investors, want to recruit the best girls and boys, give them an environment that will be challenging, and where they'll enjoy, where they, people should really want to be working for NICO.
Yes.
Yes.
Speaking on collaboration, though, because the work ahead is great, and you are looking at a vision that's also pretty big. And looking at the project itself, we need all hands on deck. Do you
Correct.
plan on collaborating with other players?
In fact, this whole project, the Magwero project, is founded on partnerships and collaboration. And this is a big platform where government and private sector have to collaborate. And when you're talking of private sector, it's not just with NICO, but there is enough. In fact, all players in the private sector have a role to play in this. Okay, so you see, like, in this, the lead in this project is obviously government and Afrexim Bank. Okay, it's government and Afrexim Bank. And then, Afrexim Bank is one of the, in fact, is the bank that is going to bankroll a big part of this project. Then we have a company called ERIS. ERIS is a private sector company. For them, obviously, they operate for profit, but while solving solutions. Their expertise lies in setting up and running industrial parks. Okay, so I think in Africa they are running, or they intend to run, about 9 industrial parks, and again, all talking to, like we said, trying to maximize value or revenues from what is locally produced. So there is need for partnerships, collaboration, and as I said, this whole project is based on collaboration. Because, for example, the issues we talked about, water, electricity, that government has to come in. Issues of for the investors to come into the industrial park, they need tax incentives. Okay, and that is government role. Okay, and then also the issue of money investing. Okay, the private sector has to get capital to put in. So that's and then expertise. Okay, expertise.
So it's partnerships all around.
It's partnerships
this project
everywhere.
To be
it's
successful.
partnerships everywhere, and even like I must say, the local community,
yes,
where this thing is going
yes.
to be operating, or they have to be supportive of this. Okay, and it's important for the local leaders to really educate, their communities about, this project, to say it's a good thing for everyone, for the country, as I said earlier on.
As we are closing, I know that Magwero is not the only option for you, I'm sure, as a NICO Group to look at within your portfolio and investment, truly. What else are you up to?
Well, thank you for that question. Obviously, as you say, yes, we, as one principle of investing is that you don't put all your eggs in one basket. You have to diversify, all right? So we are diversifying. You may be aware that besides, we're looking at this as an opportunity, but we are putting up a hotel, a big hotel here in Lilongwe at Lilongwe Golf Club. This is a $52 million hotel. So that's a big investment. We're also looking to putting up an office complex here in Lilongwe. And within our portfolio, like I said, we have different companies. One area we're also looking into is to really push the technology, grow our technology company. You see, these days, you talk of digitization. And we believe we have an opportunity to digitize not just our operations, but also help other, the market out there, to benefit from our expertise when it comes to various technologies that can help them to, to use technology in their operations. So we really our bank is performing very well, but would want the rest of the other companies also to really, grow. Yeah. So what I can say is that we are, at the moment, we're really focusing on Malawi. We want to grow all the business lines we're doing. And then from there, we'll move on and maybe see, the regional growth agenda, which, we put it on a pause for a while.
You've touched on so many things in our interview here. I would love for you to give your last remarks, because I'm sure the students are excited. And as you said, there's a lot of opportunity coming in. Malawi should be excited, really, just with this project that's coming in today, that's being launched. Let me have you give your last remarks.
What I would want to say is that the Industrial Parks Project is perhaps the biggest transformative project that as a country we've embarked on in the recent past. It is a game changer. It is a game changer. There is something for everyone. Like I said, you can also talk in terms of developing certain, value chains where, like I said, we talked about our agriculture products. Instead of exporting them raw, you bring them, they're processed into more sophisticated finished products and exported at high value. So we are creating market for agriculture products. We are creating jobs. This is a big platform for creating jobs. It's also a big platform for generating foreign exchange. So it is a project that requires the support of all key stakeholders: government, private sector, parastatal sector. Everyone must play their part. If we do it well, this is a big game changer.
A big game changer, a day to be marked, clearly, when we do have the launch today. And I'm very happy that you came into studio, decided to actually allow us in your space and have this conversation today.
You're welcome, and it was a pleasure to be here.
Thank you. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's our chat with the Managing Director of NICO Group, Mr. Kumwenda, who has shed light on their partnership pretty much with government and coming in as private sector as well, ahead of the launch of the Magwero Industrial Park Project. This is ours, and it's good to see that Malawi and private sector is stepping in to say that this is what we're going to do as well to make this a reality and truly a success. Thank you for joining us. My name is Ruth Kulaisi.